Most of us have heard the story of Jack the Ripper. The Whitechapel murders of 1888, where 5 female prostitutes had their throats slashed and their insides removed. It's still one of the greatest unsolved serial killings of all time. There have been hundreds of suspects and theories about the identity of Jack the Ripper, but in this video, I look at one of these suspects who made his way to Melbourne, Australia. Fredrick Deeming was born in England in 1853. By the time he was 16, he had left home and started life as a thief. In 1882, Deeming moved to Australia, where he worked as a gas fitter in Sydney and married Marie James, having 2 Australian-born daughters with her. By 1888, Deeming had told his brothers back in England that he would be coming home with a considerable fortune. Newspaper and police research found that he made a stop in South Africa for a mine heist before visiting Marie back in England around the time of the Whitechapel murders. Marie, who had just given birth to their 4th child, was given money by Deeming before telling her he was leaving for South America. He never made it and was arrested and sentenced to 9 months in prison for theft. Upon release, Deeming took a lease on a house under a false name in Rainhill, England, which would be the future grave of his family. In 1891, Deeming slit the throats of Mary and his 4 small children and buried them beneath the floor. The bodies laid undetected for 8 months, giving Deeming enough time to leave England once again. After Deeming had slain his entire family, he married Emily Mather, daughter of a Rainhill shopkeep, and took her to Melbourne on a German steamship. Using the alias Albert Williams, he rented a house in Andrew Street, Windsor, in December 1891 for himself and Emily. Christmas Day saw Emily's last breath as Deeming slit her throat, caved in her skull, and buried her under his Melbourne fireplace. It took 3 months to find Emily's body. Deeming had long left the house, and as the landlord showed a new tenant through, the stench of decaying flesh overcame the men. It took 2 hours for 3 policemen to get her body out of the cement casing under the fireplace. The body was covered in an oozy, slimy substance, and during the recovery, her hair and scalp became detached from her skull. By the time the body was found, Deeming had made his way to Western Australia, where police had arrested him on the 11th of March, 1892. A journalist that was travelling with the police escort back to Melbourne noted that at every train station, people on the platforms would try and see the prisoner shouting, "Jack the Ripper! Jack the Ripper!" After a speedy trial, Deeming was hung in the Melbourne jail. But were these murders the work of the notorious Jack the Ripper? Or just another psychopath doing the same thing at the same time?